Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Plat. Purplatypus is the name. I got the developer here. Not live on chat, but he's in my chat. Well, he's live in my chat, but not in my headphone chat. We're going to talk about the patch notes. And I'm live on Twitch, so you're going to see me get distracted a lot. I was thinking of that too, but some players might not be too happy about the thing going down over time. I could totally see that. So we were talking about angel mode, which I love. We'll get to it more. It reducing over time, maybe even if it just did one step backwards instead of forwards. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it should. So the thing is, once you get a mode, I don't know, because the thing is, if you get a win and then you die on your next run and the game gets easier again, it feels like it could incentivize people not getting better. I don't know. But it's really, as long as there's just something, right? People always have the ability to turn it off when they get more confidence. The idea that people will be able to get all the achievements and feel like they're progressing through the game by having an angel mode is so good. I really like that in general. Whether or not it needs to have an exact tweak to make it get harder again over time, that doesn't really matter, right? Hades has God mode, right? And God mode is just a flat, hard, like every time you use a Death Defiance, I think, something like that, you get immunity to damage. And people seem to like that, so this seems like a great feature. All right, so patch 1.5 just came out today as of recording. This is the biggest content patch. We did like a preview. We had like the teaser patch. It was had a lot of stuff, but it didn't tell everything. We're not going to go through all the new spells and new things. These are things that are going to be fun to discover. There's also a big list of balance changes that we're going to go over. 29 new spells, Calamity for all brands. Love that. Calamity for everything is just, it makes every focus feel more fun. I think just having that as a chance. 32 new artifacts. I've seen a lot of these so far. They've been really fun and they've been interesting in good ways. They're not just like stat increases, right? There are a lot of interesting things. Hey, what's up, Audio? Thanks for being here, friend. Mod Sandbox. I'm not really, like, I know I do Mod Monday, but I'm not a modder myself. I just play mods. So hopefully this is, you know, it sounds good. Profiles, that's cool. Let's go down. So lots of new spells. You can take a quick look at the names here. But again, these are things that are going to be slightly more fun to find in game. And because one, like, I don't know how good Kebab is yet, right? I don't remember exactly what it does off the top of my head, but I haven't used it enough to really give a good impression on it. But for spells, this is what I'm interested in. Beacon, 1 shot to 2 shots. I haven't been super impressed with Beacon in the past, obviously. Like, it's a structure, it puts out 1 fire every like 3 seconds or something, but now it's like you always have double cast on it in a better way than normal, right? Because you don't need to take up 2 spots for structures. Putting down 2 fire every 3 seconds is pretty good. I think Beacon went from, I always liked Beacon, but I mean, it wasn't like good. Now I think it's like probably good. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable against a lot of fights. Man, I'm sorry, my mustache is getting in my fucking nose. Blizzard rarity 2 to 3, totally fair. Blizzard and Hailstorm both being in the same rarity, I think, where it was kind of weird because they were so similar. So it being a higher rarity but getting a damage boost is cool. Overall, this is definitely a nerf to Blizzard, I would say. Like, doubling the damage, it doesn't matter as much when you're mostly getting frost procs from it anyway, probably. Booster shot, that's the one that when you hit, it heals, and then if you hit with it, it fires a second shot to deal poison. And 80 to 120. Perfect. That's awesome. Booster shot's already kind of hard to hit with, and you didn't feel very rewarded when you did hit with it. Like, it was like you would take it to get your poison stuff going in the early game, but it would be one of the first things you want to remove poison wise. It's definitely one of the weaker poisons, but it did fulfill a purpose. And I understand you could heal one thing, poison a thing, but that doesn't really come up. So 40 more poison is really good, especially just the way the poison mechanic works. The higher the number is actually, you know, because then when it halves, it doesn't half to 40, right? It halves to 60. So you're getting 40 damage first, then you're getting 20 damage, and then you're getting 10 more damage over time. Bow Snipe rarity 1 to 2. So this is this makes sense. Bow Snipe's insane. It's really good. The Shopkeeper still starts with it though. So if you're playing the Shopkeeper, you're still insanely overpowered. But you know, the fact that it's harder to find in runs, I don't normally pick it up in runs just because it's 4 mana and not a lot of characters start with 4 mana, I don't think. So it's a little bit awkward, but it's one of the more powerful spells, no doubt. Hey, you're looking at the new patch notes? I was about to look at them. Hey, well, Sammy, welcome. And you'll be able to check out this YouTube video tomorrow if you want. Carpet Bomb, damage 40 to 120. I don't know. So the thing is, that's triple the damage. Your Glitter Storm? Oh, we're going to get there. Don't worry. That's triple the damage. If all you do to a spell is triple the amount of damage it does, it's usually just straight up good. But there is a category of spells called shit that'll get you killed, and Carpet Bomb is pretty much in that category. So tripling the amount of damage it could do to you. You're not likely to hit yourself with that triple damage though. Like, because you're going to cast it and move out. It's mostly the fires that get you. I feel like this does buff Carpet Bomb in a way, but it's still very dangerous, no doubt. And it makes, if you make a mistake, you make a bigger mistake. Like, you can hit yourself way harder. I still don't love Carpet Bomb, but I think it's definitely the right direction, because the whole idea is, right, is it has to be risky or it's pointless. And dealing way more damage is good. Maybe if it like couldn't leave, I don't know, because the whole idea of the spell is that you need to leave fire. It's a Carpet Bomb on your side of the field as well. You know, I like it. It's a good change. Counter-Strike, gain 50 shield, fire a shot. That's the old one. 50 damage, 50 shield. Gain 50 shield and fire 2 kunais. This is so good. This is so much better than it was. Like, this is my favorite thing. I think like this kind of change in the whole patch is having spells that cast kunais that aren't kunais, right? They don't generate kunais, they throw kunais. So if you have something that makes kunais, I don't know, let's say the one artifact that I refused to ever use ever because I hated it was kunais deal double damage but cost 1. I was like, I would rather just have twice as many kunais and cast them all without getting stuck. Your DPS goes down most of the time when they cost 1, unless you have very specific things. Now, if you take that, this doesn't cost more mana, right? This will gain you 50 shields and it'll cast 2 kunais. So one, it already does more damage, right? Because it does 60 damage instead of 50. But now it synergizes with all the kunai artifacts. And this kind of spell existing also makes an artifact that wasn't usable in my mind, or not very usable or very good, suddenly really good. Now you don't need a kunai deck. You can just have Counter-Strike because it's good. And now if you just happen to find that kunais deal double damage, suddenly, right, this is doing like 120 damage, getting you 50 shield. That's like really, really good. This is a huge buff to Counter-Strike in my opinion. I love it a lot, and it's just fun. Kunais are more fun than firing a random shot, but I already like Counter-Strike, and they just made one of my favorite spells better. Flurry, rarity 2-1. Flurry is Flurry's good. It's really good. It's like the best part about Pyroterra early on, and now that Pyroterra has actually got, I think rarity 1's good though. Like I think it should show up a bit more. It's not amazing. It's pretty good, or like, I don't know. It's good. It pushes things to the back. I like it. It's fine. It being a little more common is cool. I'm still probably not going to take it very much, but with now with the new there's a new kit for Break Hazel, which is not Break Hazel. Sorry, Break Terra. So cool. So Flurry, it was like, okay, it's cool, but like mine isn't, like you can't hit them when they're in the back row. But now you got Poison Tails, which only hits the back row, but it hits them for tons of poison and normal damage. So now when you Flurry enemies, even if you don't stick them and hit them with the entire thing of Flurry, you just hit them into the back row. You could push them back forward again to deal damage. It's Flurry is now better because of the starting kit of Break Terra, which I really, really like. Fracture costs 2 mana. Damage went up to 120. Wanted the flow trigger to be more rewarding. I don't remember. Is this cast twice? I think Fracture casts twice, right? I don't remember exactly, but a mana cost going up is bad. Damage going up by 50. It's not quite double, but it's almost double. It's pretty good. Double cast at flow. I mean, overall, so now instead of doing 140 damage on a double cast or, on a flow charge, you're going to be doing 240 damage. That's pretty significant. Honestly, when you're doing something like flow and hearth, you have earth prayer, right? You're not really too concerned about and then you have things like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of mana. Like, I don't feel like I have mana problems when I'm going for flow. So I don't think the 1 mana cost is super significant. And I do think the damage is a pretty big buff. So I like that. I like Fracture. Glitterstorm rarity 3-4. Is that Calamity? Right? Because it was already rare. And now I think it's Calamity. Is it common, rare? Common, rare, legendary, Calamity. Okay. That's fair. Glitterstorm is busted. It's fucking strong as shit. Hailstorm, 10 damage to 20 damage. Totally cool. Hailstorm was just a bad blizzard, right? But like, so I like this change as well. Buffing Hailstorm is nice, but people were like, why is, like, it was weird that Hailstorm and Blizzard were in the same rarity and they were so similar. Now that Blizzard's harder to find, you're just going to be relying on Hailstorm a bit more. Overall, I feel like this is a Blizzard going up in rarity is probably a nerf to anima in general, but I do like that Hailstorm is getting a little bit more love here. Hyper Beam. This is a spell I don't use very much, but people think it's really good. It's just not really my spell. Rarity 2 to 3. That's cool. It's going to show up a bit less. I'm still not going to take it a whole lot. The Twitch integration bot. Hello, One Step from Eden bot. Thank you for being here. Jam, anchor duration is 0.1 to 0.2. Okay, that's really cool in a negative way, but I like it, right? Because I didn't even, like, jams didn't really feel like the anchor was significant. So now doubling the length, the anchor is one of the shit that'll get you killed things. So doubling that is significant. I do like nerfs for things that are a bit powerful, honestly. And now there's a new like WD-40-esque artifact that removes the anchor altogether. So it's like not only was this nerfed, but there was an artifact that now addresses it. So those two things work together pretty well. I like that. Northwind rarity 1 to 2, totally fair. Rarity 1 is actually kind of crazy. Northwind is really good. So I think rarity 2 is super reasonable. I don't like Northwind is the one that I don't take a whole lot, but it's like always good, right? Anything that hits like their entire row removes shields, like anything that helps me kill Reva easier, I'm down, right? It hits the guy she summons, it hits her, destroys her shields, and it's just good in a lot of fights. Base damage 40 to 100, so 60 increased damage is huge. Spell damage multiplier from 20 to 10, so at half the spell power damage multiplier. How do I feel? And it went up to a calamity. How do I feel? So the thing is, Power Saws is probably way too powerful, but I don't know. Like, I never felt Power Saws was too powerful other than in runs where I was already so powerful, where Power Saws being that powerful didn't matter, right? Like, if I had 30 spell power, I already had 30 spell power. The fact that Power Saws was so good didn't matter. I was already going to win that run, but I totally understand. So the thing is, going up to Calamity is fair. The base damage boost is cool and fair. Mana cost up, this is all fair. The spell power damage multiplier, this is definitely needed. It still has the same identity, but like this is part of losing the spell's identity, right? Because this is the payout. You get the spell because you have spell power, and it has a huge modifier on the spell power. So it loses a little bit of what makes it special, but also it was really strong. And 10 is still fucking huge. 20 might be a bit unreasonable. So I like that change. Prophecy now only hits enemy field, and it went up 40 damage. Prophecy, I'm going to say it. I think Prophecy is good now. Prophecy is now good. If you double cast this, and you just hit and you hit 2 of their rows, if you double cast it, it does have a 1 in 4 chance to target the same row twice, I believe. So that's slightly annoying and kind of hurts its potential a little bit, but it's also a good balance because when it doesn't hit the same thing twice, it's so good. But yeah, if you double this and then echo it, like you might hit 3 of the rows and you get lucky, you'll hit all 4, right? And so they're gonna get hit with 240 and then they can't move for like a long ass time. I don't know if they changed it, but it feels like tiles are broken longer. It might just because there was more things that break tiles in the game, it felt like to me. So maybe I'm just noticing it more. Resonate no longer hits structures. Brand Hexagon Resonate. Why don't I? You know what? I probably don't know what it is because it's probably something that I don't consider very good. Resonate right here. Create an explosion at every structure. It doesn't hit structures. Oh, so it doesn't hit itself, I guess, right? Or other next door neighbor structures. I mean, hey, buffs are buffs, right? I'm still not in love with it, the spell in general. But I do like the changes. Well, I don't like this kind of spell being in convergence when you're going convergence focus, and you find this thing is so like, I don't want this. So Hexagon, this is exactly where you want it. That just makes more sense. Even though I do understand it has the effect of the convergence or glimmer spells almost. Like, it's kind of one of those attempts like to kind of branch out and go to different things, but it was so not used outside of Hexagon that I think it's probably good there. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way, friend. Who was it? I actually missed it. Drinkle Dog? Dinker Dog? Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate it a lot. Ring spells, mana cost 2 to 1. Shatter Saw. Well, I don't know which ring spells. Are these the... I gotta look it up. I'm so sorry. I know. Oh, these the rings. Okay. Yeah. Why not, right? They're not good to cast, so why them being cheap to cast is totally reasonable. Yep, that's cool. Like, is that even a buff? Like, I guess technically, yeah, but like, you're using it for the passive effect, not for casting it. So even if they were 0, I don't think they'd be too powerful. But that's still, you know, 2 is probably a bit high. Shattersaw, rarity 1 to 0. Shattersaw is great. I love Shattersaw. I love to see it a bit more early on in Glimmer, right? Switchbait, shots 2 to 1. This is like literally a fucking massive nerf. This is one of the this is the one that I heard the community talk about the most, probably. Like, they wanted Switchbait nerfed. I didn't care that much about Switchbait getting nerfed. Like, it is insanely powerful, and I don't know, maybe I just play different, because if you're playing to win, you could easily win by going for like Switchbait and a select few spells, right? But when you're like, I would purposely just not take Switchbait. I would only take it when it's like, this is the only thing that could save this run right now. Maybe I could win if I take Switchbait. But so like, I don't know, I kind of like self nerf the things by not taking them that much. But it is insanely strong, right? And now it's still insanely strong. It's still a 1 mana or whatever, you know, Ragnarok 2 mana. I don't remember how much it is. I don't take it that much, honestly. Yeah, it definitely hurts speedrunners, because Switchbait's like the #1 speedrunning thing, right? Yeah, Sarah Cannon Switchbait's just overpowered, no doubt. But it's like Sarah Cannon's still overpowered, right? You can still get Echo double cast. You know, it's no different, really. But overall, that's fine. I mean, it's good. It's a good change. I don't really care about that nerf that much myself. Time slow, rarity 1 to 2, that's good. Time slow is very good. I don't think time stop is very good. Time slow, fantastic, because shit goes on and you can react. But time stop, I don't fully understand time stop being good. I don't like it when there's an obvious best strat either. You know, it's true. And Switchbait is like, if you're trying to win, there's some certain things you could do, right? Like, you just only take Switchbait Sarah Cannon or something like that. There's also like, just like, you could win off the back of just a virus spell. Not too difficultly, it's not too difficult, especially because if you just put like 6 upgrades into it, right? That's kind of what the spell's supposed to do as well. So, I mean, Switchbait definitely is one of the things that is guilty of, if you get this spell, you win. I also think Echo is probably like that, but Echo is so fun. I would be so sad if Echo got nerfed, because Echo is every spell in the game. Echo is a fun enhancer, and it is insanely good. But like, if you just get Minefield Echo, you could easily win off those 2 spells in your deck alone and nothing else. Same with, there's also like, there are some other like Eternity Cannon. Eternity Cannon, if you could double cast it, or you get Echoed Eternity Cannon, right? That could be a 2-card combo win. Switchbait also kind of has that as well, but Switchbait also wasn't as fun as those. I don't think. Time slow, love that. I like that it's getting a nerf. It's really, really, really good. Twin Inferno, 50 to 60. I think it needed it. You know, good. It's a little damage. Why not? I wasn't super a Twin Inferno kind of guy, but you know, a little more damage, might take it sometime. Wow. Waterfall has a triple the fire rate. Is this half, or is this 1/3 as fast, or is it triple as fast? I honestly can't quite tell. It fires 0.05 times a second, so it's 1/3 as fast. Okay, so it's a big nerf, not a big buff. Okay, Waterfall is insanely strong. There's no doubt. Waterfall is the reason to take Hearth most of the time. Luckily, there's a lot of new Hearth things that are really good to kind of make up for the Waterfall being weaker now. It's still like, here's the thing though, it being slower is not as big of a nerf as it would seem on paper. The DPS is lower, but it was already possible with it firing as fast as it could to get infinite firings of it, right? If you could shuffle through your deck fast enough and keep it going and cast it and cast it and cast it with double cast and stuff, so it would never stop. It being a little bit slower does make it easier to keep it as a constant stream of damage, which is kind of nice because enemies move a lot. Sometimes if you have 8, like, you know, only 8 flow and you cast it, someone moves, you just go, Prah! You just take a shit right in front of them and you miss. Now you have a chance to actually get damage in no matter what. So even though the DPS is lower, I think you're less likely to get all your damage in, but more likely to get at least some damage in guaranteed. So I actually think it's pretty good. I actually think this is not as big of a nerf as it looks like. I think that for people with slower reflexes like this guy here, this will give us more time to react to the damage the spell is doing or react to what the enemy's doing. Instead of just like, you know, freeze time, waterfall, get him, boom. It's less of a snipe, more of a cool thing. I like that. Artifacts, beret, health drop, 80% to 60%. So this is, you know what? I gotta remember what the fuck this does. I'm sorry. I know what it does, but your max HP equals your money. So what's the nerf here doing? Explain this one to me. I'm reading it. I'm not fully understanding it. It's like when you take damage, you drop 60% of it as money or something like that. I don't know. I didn't even know. I don't really pay attention to Beret that much because it's just like so powerful. I use it as a. I just use it to get my max HP super high. There's a kitty. He's breakdancing. Candy wrapper rarity 2-1. I'm never taking that candy wrapper. I'm just not gonna do it. Candy wrapper is shit that'll get you killed. If I've died every time I've taken candy wrapper. Hey there, kitty. Do we have cat cam set up? Candy wrapper is too confusing. You're absolutely right here. I know I'm doing a YouTube video right now. Where's camera 2? There you go, buddy. Say hi. Say hi. Do you see it? He's asleep in there. His brother's over there sleeping as well. Oh, he sees this cord. He wants it. You're not getting it. All right, camera 2 off. Why am I so zoomed out, guys? It's because I don't want to mess up my one step for beating thing. Let's do center TV. There we go. This is a bit better, huh? Candy wrapper. Still not going to take it, but it being more common. This is a nerf to my overall runs because it's going to take a spot of an artifact that I might want sometimes. Choco Mint Chimp. Slow duration on Frost 4 to 2.5 seconds. Totally fair. Overall, the Frost package, I just needs a nerf. I think Frost is such a powerful strat, especially when Fire's also just like Anima in general was just so powerful. So having some of the support stuff get a little bit weaker, I think is totally cool. Plus, Choco Mint Chip was one of the best ones, and it always shows up. Jams on Shuffle 1 to 3, rarity 2. Wow. Yeah, Dual Disc is way powerful, no doubt about that. But 3 jams? Yeah, I mean, that is probably the appropriate amount. I don't know. Dual Disc is insane. The thing that I like about it is it doesn't really... I mean, it does slow down, like, even virus spell decks and stuff, right? Eventually, because you will get through if you're shuffling a lot. Yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty massive nerf. Obviously, it's a fun way to nerf it because it has a lot of ways to bypass that, right? Jams can cost 1. Jams can give you shields. Jams can be a positive thing. So it's a cool way to nerf this for most runs while also being able to do cool things in it. 7 to 4 seconds, totally fair. Ghost costume made most fights. You take no damage. A little sad for me because I like Ghost costume a lot, but 4 seconds is more reasonable, and it's still enough time to get full spell cast, you know, get a fuck ton of damage in it, not worry about it. Ice flow gain 1 to 2. Anything that brings it from flow 1 to flow 2 is massive. Like, flow 1 to flow 2, I think is like bigger than flow 0 to flow 1. Like, because if something doesn't have flow, you're not going to take it. If something has flow 1, you're not getting anywhere. But once you have flow 2, you're gaining flow from casting it. And this isn't a spell, right? This is like when this is an ice artifact, but still, like, flow 2 is just big. That's a huge one. Immune system shield 10 to 20 needed. I don't think immune system is super good. Doubling the effect of it, much better. 20 shields a lot. 10 was kind of negligible. Not, you know, we'll take it eventually. Meat shield on consume 20 to 10. This hurts. The thing is, meat shield is inherently so insanely overpowered with kunai that it's not going to affect that build, I think, at all. I don't think kunai give a shit if it was even 5, you know, because you just cast so many spells so fast. But there's a lot of spells now. It's going to be hard to get like a free 100, right? If you're just casting a few spells to gain your maximum HP higher, suddenly you're not getting 100 shield, right? You might be getting 50. Which is still good, but like overall, it's a good nerf, and the runs that are built around it aren't going to be affected that much. Now, card thrower, if that comes up and that's nerfed a lot, that will affect the kunai build a bit more, even though you can still win without it. Merit badge rarity 2. I don't know. Merit Badge, Rarity 2. Again, there's nothing like, yeah, Merit Badge is insanely powerful, but the thing is, Merit Badge is untakeable in like the final 3 floors. I mean, if you might get like 4 or 5 spell power out of it if you take it late, but even then, you probably haven't built a deck where 4 or 5 spell power is that good, because like sometimes 5 spell power is 5 damage on a spell, right? Sometimes it's, you know, way more on a spell. I kind of wish like, so if you start off with it, like if you have it right in the beginning, it's too powerful. And if you have it too late, it doesn't do anything. So it being Rarity 1 might have made it show up just slightly. Maybe instead of showing up on, you know, the 3rd floor on average, it'll show up on like the 5th floor on average, something like that. I'm sure that's the kind of nerf it is. I don't know. I only take Merit Badge if I find it on the first 2 floors. So it'll just mean I get Merit Badge slightly less, but it makes sense. Mining Rig, kind of the same thing. You take it early. If I find like it's still good, it's decent late, but it's one of those things I'm like, I've only got 3 floors left. I'm not going to bother taking it. So this isn't a Rarity one though. It's just slightly worse, which is totally fine because it was pretty good early on. It's kind of difficult to get Merit Badge on the Luck 20 and up Hell Passes though. So it might actually be more common now. You know, you're actually right. I didn't think about that. It's technically rarer, but with the plus 20 luck, it actually might be more common. You're right. That's a really good point of view. I didn't even think about that. Ninjutsu chance for kunai to add a kunai on hit went from 100% to 50%. I think this is like a huge nerf, but at the same time, ninjutsu is so powerful, it's almost like not a huge nerf, right? Does that make sense? Like 100% to 50%. Now you're not infinite, right? It's a huge nerf. You're gonna have to shuffle now. But at the same time, it's so powerful that I don't know if it matters that much. Kunais are already some of the most powerful things you could do in the entire game, I think. You don't even need ninjutsu for them to be good. It's just insane. But I think yeah, they're just good. I appreciate that nerf. Pet Kitty now fires in a cone from current tile instead of front tile, making it harder to hit land all 3 on the same target. Oh man. So here's the thing. I think Pet Kitty is the strongest artifact in the game, straight up. I think it is the strongest artifact in the game. It not going from the thing in front is a nerf, no doubt. But again, it's still so powerful. I think it's totally okay because it's still, again, this is another thing. Pet Kitty might as well be a kunai thing. Like it's good with everything, but if you're doing kunai, this is a ridiculous amount of damage that you're getting. So good nerf. I think Pet Kitty could, it's hard to nerf Pet Kitty because it does frost damage, right? You could make it fire only straight. That would nerf it quite a bit, but I don't even think that would be too much of a nerf. But it would be, the thing is, so that kind of nerf would be too strong of a nerf for other decks, I think, while not being a nerf for the kunai deck very much. So maybe something like this is better. Yeah, a little bit of a nerf, but honestly, Pet Kitty is still probably the best artifact in the game. Faceplates, it's a little bit weaker. Interesting. I never take faceplates. I just don't really like it. But, you know, I also get hit very frequently all the time. There are probably some spells that hit you multiple times really fast that it's really good with, right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure this is something like the community talked about. This is something that I would never have brought up faceplates ever. If I was asked for 100 spells that I think could use changes, this wouldn't have been one of them probably. But that's not to say it doesn't need it. I'm just saying that it's, you know, I'm not the player that takes it. Resistant strain, minimum poison 10 to 20. I like this. I still don't take it because you sometimes get poisoned yourself, but it's not that bad. It's way better to, like, this is, now there's also an artifact that makes poison do plus 20 damage. So if you're doing like, even if you just have Anubis in your deck and you happen to pick up resistant strain, you happen to pick up the other thing, you're suddenly doing 40 damage every 2 seconds with no effort, right? And even more than that because the original Anubis is going to do more damage. I like that. I think this is, yeah, a pretty good buff for that. And it makes it a little bit more risky to use it, but you're not too concerned about it. Spell Thief license, heal on removes 50 to 100. Totally cool. I like that. I never really used it, so this is reasonable. Now pierces defense. Step drone pierces defense. Thank God. That's nice. It only do 2 damage, right? Instead of, it would only do 1. Still, the thing about step drone is I always kill the bosses by mistake, so you got to watch for that. Resistant strain, poison clock, poison apply. There's a lot of good, like poison got a lot of love, which is good because I thought poison was one of the weaker things, and it's kind of based on how the mechanic works of how when you deal damage poison to something, it resets. If poison never reset, I think it would might be more powerful, but it might be weaker. It'd be hard because you'd get the damage up front, not on the back end. But sometimes like I'm just like you have to time your spells so precisely. Poison needed the love, and it did get a lot of love. I think it's more powerful. I like Step Drone getting a boost. Soul Food needs a nerf. Insanely powerful. 50 to 20. Perfect. Spell power 5 to 4. It's a nerf, right? Because this gave you 5 spell power and your shields decay quickly, but you don't really care about the shield part. So now it's just like a bad, or now it's just like a good version of the gain 4 spell power, lose 4 defense. Good. Like it's not a big nerf. It's not gonna. I'm gonna take it every time still probably. Transcendence now reduces shield shuffle decay from 40 to 25. Transcendence to me is basically like Hell Pass 14. You got to head out, but thanks for streaming. And this overview of the balance changes is great. Hey, well, thank you so much for stopping by. One step from Eden. I appreciate it. You have a great evening. And I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon after this. It's getting pretty late here myself. I'm already late. I'm just, new stuff. I'm excited and I want to keep playing and talking about stuff. And thank you so much for the follow. Didn't you already subscribe today? You know what? I'm not here to ask questions. Thank you. Transcendence. So this is Hell Pass 14. This is really good. Transcendence gets me killed because I walk in, maybe not fire. I walk in something. Like I'll get poisoned or frosted or kill myself. I don't know. Transcendence is scary, especially because you lose so much shield decay, but this is exactly what you need. Dude, look at all these follows. Guys, thank you so much. Dude, like 30 follows. Sammy, perfect. And I can't even see it. I don't normally get notifications. Worst. Thank you guys. Card guy, well, we're not quite done yet. We're getting there though. Unicorn bomb damage to 40. I already loved Unicorn bomb. Thought it was great. 40 damage, way better. Twice as good, as a matter of fact. Unicorn bomb is definitely worth taking. I wouldn't say it's like really good, but I would say I like it. It's kind of like having an Anubis in a way, where all enemies start with 20 poison, right? That's another change, I think, right? Uranium 8 to 5, totally good. Overall, I feel like a lot of things revolved around getting spell power was nerfed, right? Spells that scaled off spell power got worse. Things that give you spell power got weaker. So it makes me think that people were using spell power and abusing the game a lot. But the thing is, like when you're doing things like Switchbait and Sarah Cannon, if you have 100 spell power, it doesn't make a significant amount of damage, right? Spell power is good with things that hit a lot, and it's also good with fire, right? So maybe that's what the big nerf is for. But overall, I didn't think spell power was too out there powerful, but the overall nerfs is going to make spell power worse. But then it's, on the other hand, it's going to make things like tear down Hazel better, right? Because she could get spell power. Anubis, is that how it's pronounced? I thought it was Anubis. It probably is Anubis. I guarantee you're right. I say things wrong, not because it's just because I'm told and I just don't forget. I just look at something and I fucking make an assumption. I call him Shizo, Shizo. I don't know which one it is. I just talk. I don't read. I look at words and I do the Anubis. Boss at Saffron, new boss fight completely reworked. Now attacks with around 40 different pre-programmed spell combo chains at 4 different tiers. She also throws her plushie behind her instead of in front. Much smarter and scarier. Yeah, I've done this boss fight 2 or 3 times now. Hugely fun boss fight. Probably the most fun boss fight. Shit is going crazy. Much harder. The furry, you probably already saw the video. Oh, maybe it's coming out later today. I don't know. It will be coming out if you haven't seen it yet, but where I save her for the final boss before the wall. Huge, just fucking tough fight. Like, I still don't think it's as tough as rank 7 Reva, but there's no doubt the fight is more interesting and I would say dynamic at all aspects of the game. Wonderful change. Slicey, sexy skin right here. Let's come take a look here. Now, when I say sexy, I don't mean actually sexy. I mean, cool skin. I'm not hitting on a fucking fictional character. I'm not a virgin, you're a virgin. Overall, very, very nice skin. See, Christmas themed. You beat her in the next whatever few weeks and you unlock it permanently. I do like the incentive to get people to come back. It's not just always there. It's there for, you got to come get it now. Bosses, slicey, balance. Weapons now pierce defenses, includes Gunner's weapons. This is like one of the most needed changes, I think, in the entire game, for sure. Gunner was such a sack of shit, worthless character on higher levels because you just couldn't do damage. Everything was taking 1 damage. It would take 30 hours to get through anything's fucking defense, man. And there's still not quite enough, I think, physical attack love in the game. I think there should be more things that boost your attack damage. I understand not all characters have things that do that, but maybe like, I don't know. I think it could use some more love, but then it would be disproportionately good on Gunner, blah, 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 blah. I know, but point is, this is huge. Gunner is way more usable now. I like the mana regen regardless of damage. For Gunner, I just don't like Gunner. I don't like situational mana regen ever. The fact that I have to use a mana to gain like what 2 mana or something, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the characters like tear down Terra, sorry, not break Terra, tear down Hazel, fucking Gunner, anyone that's like, I get a lot of mana regen if you fulfill these conditions. I'm like, normally those are not as good as characters that just have good base that you can level up from there. Flames no longer appears defense, totally a nerf, but flames are still good. Well, it's a pretty big nerf though, especially on higher levels. Storm cells equals blizzard, firestorm, thunderstorm, sunshine, etc. I have a word I mispronounced for years. What word? Storms? Sorry, what did I miss something? Audio? I'm so sorry. Does that list include Pyroterra? Yes, but also no. I think Pyroterra is insanely nuts, overpowered, strong. Well, I don't know. Maybe with this change, a little bit weaker. Insanely nuts, overpowered, strong. If you get Ring of Fire, I'm so sorry. I'm too zoomed in now. I'm not even paying attention. It's just a big one. If you get Ring of Fire, or like Firewall, but there's too many things there's too many not great fire spells, or they're too expensive. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Boop, boop, boop. All right, this is fine. I'm not a professional, all right? But okay, let's continue. Health Pass 11, hostages have a chance to spawn with normal hostages instead of replacing them, except for distress zones where they can replace them. I like this a lot. That's that's a good change. Evil hostages was like a memey, not very fun one to do because there was a lot of things like merit badge that just weren't usable anymore, right? You couldn't save hostages because they were all evil. But now you can get both. Storm spells no longer get the frost upgrade. That's sad, but it's reasonable. Plus, you already have Blizzard Hail, right? Do they still have frost on hit, I assume? Emulator? I called it emulators. Emulators. Oh, nice. I like that. Luck for each none. Focus 1 to 2. What? What is luck for each, not for each focus, luck for each none focus 1 to 2. So you get +4 luck for not focusing. Huh. I didn't know that was a mechanic. That's really weird. Cool though. Improve kunai range consistency. You know, I always suspected kunai didn't fire consistently. Like I swear to God, sometimes they flew all the way to the back row, like, and sometimes they hit 4 tiles. So I guess that shows that I wasn't crazy. Spin tail enemies now fire less shots, so you're not stuck waiting for as long. Totally cool, because that was kind of boring. Flower artifact HP losses rebalanced. I feel like they're all still a little bit too high, but if they're too low, then they're not good, and they're all equal. They're still all overpowered on the shopkeeper. But overall, I still don't take them very much, but sometimes when I have 1200 HP, absolutely is worth taking 1 or 2. Shuffle staleness. So this is overall shuffle increase time. I definitely notice this. You shuffle way slower. Makes a lot of strategies weaker with your DPS, but still, it's not like these small changes are noticeable, but they're not crippling either. It's a nice little push in probably the right direction. It encourages smarter play as opposed to just random mashing play, which is what I do. Character starting kits, poison tails, so good. This completely changes Terra, I think, for the better. She still kind of sucks because her mana regen, it blows. But once you get a little bit of mana regen, you have a 1-2 combo built in. You push them to the back, deal good damage, and then you, boom, push them up. It's good against bosses. It's good against everything. Poison Tails is a decent spell, but with Flurry, it's so much better. No doubt. I like that a lot. Added Luxable when on Bunny Death. Kind of cool. You get a little like Clover. I like that. It makes it a little more clear what happens. Weapon info can now be viewed in the deck screen. This 10 out of 10. Sorry, Cyberpunk, move over. We got a real game here now. The fact that you could pause and actually see what your weapon does, I forgot all the fucking time, especially in mods. when I like this wasn't that big of a deal in the normal game, but when I was playing mods, I would always forget what my weapon does. So I really like that. Hopefully the mods are taking care of that and I'll be able to see that still. I assume so. Fixed previews for many spells. So many of them were broken and didn't show what was good, but you kind of just, they become less needed as you play because you just kind of learn. Assist no longer block movement. That's nice because I've totally almost died from, you know, I just like, I've had assists really bug me. Certain dark icons brightened. Aha, the world icons. I was right. I thought that. I was like, aren't these world icons all brighter? And they are. Update a removal tooltip to reflect. I didn't notice this. I didn't see the tooltip, but removes can, as we all know probably by now, can remove packs, artifacts, and spells. It can remove a lot of shit. I kind of like that it was a hidden thing for more advanced players, but it just being presented up front to the player is probably overall better. But now my YouTube video of advanced secrets or whatever is not is relevant. Made Sarah's dialogue hint more towards not being a true ending after the gate. Yeah, they changed the now when you beat Seraph at the end, it just throws a sword down on all tiles, guarantee hits you, right? I don't know if you could beat her anymore and still loop. You definitely could before, right? You could beat her as Reva with infinite shields and probably another strat. I don't know with all the swords if it's still possible. It might be possible with the same exact thing as Reva. But now she says you killed too many to progress, so now it's more obvious that you got to kill less. Worlds where bosses have been killed will now show up as red in the map and have a skull. This is just nice because I forget who I killed, who I didn't. Viewable map during the reward screen. This is broken right now. Maybe it's broken for me. I don't know. But every time I hit X, nothing comes up. Hold the skip option. Hold the move option. I'm sure someone wants that. Not my thing. Stop music on pause menu. Why not? That's nice. Increase size of card descriptions. That's nice. Use keyboard. Totally fair. Broken for me. So maybe it's only... I tried clicking on it and I tried using the X button. Neither of them worked, but maybe on keyboard input it works. I didn't try tab. Angel mode. Angel mode is like the... I already talked about it at the top of the video, but we're just going to address it again really quick. I think Angel mode is like a huge positive change. Again, just really quick to reiterate what I was saying earlier. We're going to go through a couple steps of this. One, why I like that it's here, why I like how it's done, and how I think it could potentially be better. One, I think Angel mode is good because a lot of times I see, again, in the Discord, a lot of people are like, nerf Switchbait, nerf like Sarah Cannon, these things are too powerful. Merit badge, these things are all too powerful. Nerf. And buff, like sometimes they're like buff the weak things. But I always felt like people didn't focus enough on the core audience of the game now is really good at the game. And one of the biggest complaints this game got, the biggest turnoff for most players, is that it was too hard. And Angel mode is like a perfect way to introduce people into the game. One, I like that it's not called easy mode, it's called Angel mode, just like Hades has God mode, right? It's not just like, hey, you're lesser of a player. You can still get all the achievements, which I think is fine because they're achievements. Who cares, honestly? Like, I don't care. I got it without Angel mode. It's fine if you get it with Angel mode, whatever. But also, this is such a good way. You put Angel mode on and nothing changes. Then every single time you die, everything gets 2% slower. Enemy and bosses get 2% slower, up to a maximum of 50%, which is incredible slow. Like, that's so much easier. So every time you die, it gets slower. So it's like as you're getting better at the game, like as you're getting better, you know, you're going up this way and the game is getting like easier, right? So you cross to this path where you're almost like guaranteed to get your first win in the first, you know, 10 to 25 runs. And it's just really, really nice, you know? It's great for players who got the game and felt it was too hard, or players that have, you know, accessibility options, right? Like, I don't like, some people say things like Sekiro and Dark Souls shouldn't have an easy mode. I would not play on the easy mode, but if they want to add them into the game, I think it's reasonable. And I like that it's there. I like that people can get into the game and have fun. You think it starts at 20%? Okay. So if it starts at 20%, that's still good because you have to turn it on in the first place. That's fine. But the point is that it's getting easier and easier as you die while you're getting better and better as you play, at least in theory. It's just really, really good. I love the way this is implemented. And I love that it's there because people want to play this game, and just a lot of people would say, I wish it was just 20% slower, and now you got 20% up to 50%. So depending on your skill level. So that's fun. Hopefully this optional accessibility mode allows for more people to enjoy the game without removing all the challenge for it. 100%. Great. I like the idea of making the game slightly easier the more the player dies, so that always making progress. Exact. I love that. Now, if I think in an ideal world, it would be so nice to have it automatically get like, so if it starts at 20% and then you die, you get up to 30%, but at 30% you get your first win. Maybe it resets to 20%, or maybe it goes back 10% from where you were, not resets entirely. Maybe it just goes back 2%. I don't know. But like as you win, it kind of, it adjusts, right? It gets a little bit easier and then a little bit harder again. But I kind of would like that as maybe an alternate option. Like, would you like variable difficulty? So as you win, it gets harder. As you lose, it gets easier. But at the same time, if someone wants it to get easier and easier and they don't want it to get harder, then there wouldn't be an easy mode for them, right? The player can adjust it. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of the game dictating it as it gets easier and harder automatically, but that's like such a tiny little itsy bitsy thing. Again, it's not a big deal. The fact that there is a mode that lets people access the game that couldn't before is the big one there. Profile / slave slot system. I will never use this, but it's cool, right? You have people that want to play, don't want to mess up your fancy pants kill streaks or whatever. Brand and icon are based on the last chosen. Hell passes are now individually selectable. This is cool. So it's basically changed from a monster train / slay the spire mode, right, where it's a stacking difficulty, to now like now kind of like a I don't know, it just, now you just have like, oh, here's a set of 14 challenges, choose which challenges you would like to use. So it's not stacking harder and harder necessarily. You could do it that way still. There's nothing stopping you from treating it like the old system. But now it's like, I just want bosses to start at tier 2 with no other modifiers. I want to do Hell Pass 14. Well, you need them all on. I want to do, whatever, hard shopkeepers, but I want Gunner to not be bad, whatever. So I'm going to do the, whatever. I like it. It's fun. I'm still going to treat it like the old system because I find the old system a little more fun, but I like that people have the option now. Shield to properly search the library. In the library. Okay, fun. I didn't know that. Hell passes can no longer be removed after continuing a run. I tried that. I've never had that work though. Maybe that was just, it was a bug. Mod stuff, 700%. Yay. Sandbox added an XML file, test zone. Cool stuff. Fixed an issue with Hell Pass selecting and unlocking. Weapons can no longer be removed. That's interesting. I didn't know they could. Fixed an issue with having the map. Maybe it was because you could then remove your weapon because it was now selectable on that screen where you could use removes. And so maybe they fixed that. Reduce pendulum tick reduction from 2 to 1.9 so that having 2 won't cause the tick duration to be 0. Interesting. That's totally fair. So instead of it was -2 seconds. So now that's is poison 4 seconds? I thought it was already 2 seconds. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Push mid-afternoon, cool. Added placeholders in English for some missing translations. There'll be updates later. Got it. Most of these features came directly from you, the community, and I'm happy to finally add them to the game. Thank you for sticking around and coming up with these great ideas. After the last patch in April, I realized I was pretty burnt out and needed a break from One Step from Eden. I know the extra settings took a while to come out, so I'm sorry for the wait. I still love the game and really enjoy working on it. What's next? I've attempted adding online multiplayer, but I've decided it'll require making a whole other standalone game. I may experiment with that in the future. In the meantime, I'm always working on something. Hoping we get a whole patch. I would love a patch with, 3 new characters, 2 new focuses. 3 new characters means 3 new bosses, and maybe the bosses are randomized now. Maybe each area has one of 3 bosses as an option. New super final boss only if you go, maybe after the wall you get a boss, or after, there could be like a whole cool expansion that could be kind of like more content but not elongating the game, kind of making it lateral. But it's up to Thomas. Anyway, that's going to be it for the YouTube video, guys. I hope you're excited for this patch as I am. So much new stuff. I mean, I've played 3 or 4 runs. I haven't even seen half of the new shit yet. Like all this shit. I'm more excited for the spells than the artifacts, besides a few specific artifacts. The only issue with artifacts is that if you have an artifact like, oh, your poison, ticks faster. I also need to be a poison deck. So you kind of do it. That's why I really like having it. That's why I like playing Shopkeeper so much, because you get it early in the game. Second Breakfast, that's a Lord of the Rings reference. Nice, I assume. Wonder, fantastic, love it. This is metronome. You cast a random spell. Wonder's a meme. I am gonna have a wonder double cast, echo double cast, and we're just gonna wonder our way to victory. I don't even care how the fuck it happens. Ramjet, that's what they used to call me in high school. And without further ado, guys, that's gonna be it for this YouTube video. Thank you so much for joining me. 49-minute patch notes where I rambled and was redundant, but either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. See ya next time.